What was that?
It's Dad sneezing. That might be the intro. It might have to be. Ah! Choo! Welcome back to Everything Whiskey. I'm Callum.
I'm Sam.
And today we're reviewing Buffalo Trace.
Alrighty, so Buffalo Trace is a Kentucky straight bourbon. It's aged for about 8 years. It comes from Buffalo Trace Distillery. Obviously, they are massive. They do so many different brands of whiskey. And they've been around for a long, long time. I think over 230 years. They started in the 1700s. They were making other branded whiskeys, but they didn't make their own Buffalo Trace branded whiskey for a while after they started. People were just coming to them like, oh, where's your Buffalo Trace whiskey? And they didn't have it. They thought, oh, we should probably do that. So everyone knows our name, but no, we don't actually sell a whiskey named Buffalo Trace. Now, this is a pretty low proof. I believe it's 40%. Kelly, can you clarify that?
Yeah, 40%.
Yeah, 40%. They don't disclose the exact recipe, the exact mash bill, but we can guess that it's very low rye, probably less than 10%.
Yeah.
It's very vanilla'd, maybe some wheat in it. But it's one of my favorites. I love having it on the bar cart because, especially in Australia, it's one of the more affordable bourbons. There's a fair few whiskeys, mostly bourbons, that I don't know, they just don't fall into the affordable range, the good ones, even though they might be in America. But Buffalo Trace is actually one of them. It's consistently all across Australia $60, which is pretty doable.
Now, I actually agree with Sam that this should be on the bar cart all the time, but on the nose, to me it's really thin. I don't know what it is about it. It's kind of like thin, and you get like kind of that Jack Daniels kind of nose. It's like really thin. It kind of smells like a bit like paint stripper kind of. I don't know how to explain it.
It's got a real lolly sweetness to it.
Maybe
like
that's not.
It's not like a caramel sweetness or whatever. It's kind of like fruity even. And you're right. It is because it's lower proof. It's a bit lighter.
Yeah. Do they do a cask strength? Do you know?
I don't know. I've never heard of one. But you did. I can clarify. You did just eat a curry, so don't take his advice. It's probably skewing his palate a little bit. He's just eating a bloody spicy curry.
That's true.
Might be doing it for you. Also, you've been drinking bloody brimstone all week.
Yeah.
So that'll be doing something as well.
That bloody nice whiskey bar.
It's a low proof bourbon. It's always smelt simple. I reckon.
I remember when you said we should get Buffalo Trace, and I've never had it before. So I went and bought it. And as soon as we got home, we cracked it open as we normally do. Poured it in the glass, and I had a smell, and it was like, it smelled really thin. Like, as I'm describing it now, it smelled thin.
Yeah.
But it's completely different on the taste. I don't exactly know how they managed to do it. It smells cheap, but it tastes like really like luscious. Is that
luscious? It's a
luscious taste.
No, I get what you mean though. Like it's not like thin tasting. Like it's got layers and it's
pretty complex.
I don't know how to describe it. It's just a really good all-round bourbon,
especially for 40%. Like normally I don't really drink bourbon unless it's a cask strength, but Buffalo Trace is one of the only whiskeys, basically overall, that's
from what I found
proof, that I can actually drink.
Buffalo Trace and Michter's are the only two that me and you have found we really quite enjoy, even being a low proof. Because I think Michter's is like maybe 41, 43 or something. Yeah, it's a
low one, yeah. I want to investigate if they do a cask strength, because that'd be interesting.
I would love to know. Would you like me to quickly Google it?
Yeah, do a quick Google.
No, I can't find anything about that. I think the thing is that they have no need to, because Buffalo Trace, the distillery, is so mega huge. Like they provide George T. Stagg, Stagg Jr., like Sazerac, Colonel H. Taylor or whatever. There's like so many. So just because they don't have a specifically called Buffalo Trace cask strength, like one of the Stags is probably just that version.
I always figure that distilleries actually do that.
They're all the same. Yeah,
I always
just
forget
different.
that. Yeah.
They're different parts of the distillery, the location, but
Yeah.
they're all like the same thing.
Overarching. Yeah.
Different mash bills, different everything. They probably don't have a specific mash bill that is the same as the regular Buffalo Trace, but like you got a pretty similar thing. So, I mean, like 80s in the time, especially in Australia, if you're buying a popular bourbon, it comes from Buffalo Trace anyway.
So you want to jump into the nose now?
Yeah, it's definitely sweet nose, like you said. Kind of caramel.
I just can't get past that thin. Like, it's probably just the curry, but it's just that at the moment, it just shows how much whiskey changes depending on what food you've had previously.
Oh, God, yeah, definitely.
I just can't get past this thin layer.
This is kind of smelling like an Irish whiskey for me at the moment. It's got like that creamy, malty, I don't know, and which is surprising because I don't normally get like a maltiness off bourbons because they have a low malted barley percentage.
Yeah.
But I'm getting like a cereal sweetness. So it's smelling a bit Irish.
I'm getting like a classic Kellogg's cornflakes with a bit of straw, with a bit of fruits chopped up on top.
Yeah, literally, yeah. With raisins and stuff, sultanas. Yeah, they're nasty.
It's actually really nice. Now that I'm kind of acclimating to the whiskey.
I'm just sitting with it and I'm enjoying it.
It's like really sweet.
Yeah, it is, but yeah. I'm not drinking out of a blend can today. We're in quarantine at home. This is my relaxation. I'm just sitting there with a tumbler. One of my absolute favorite tumblers. It's the Northern Rourke tumbler. They're really cool. They've got like engravings in the bottom for muddling to make what are they called? The whiskey cocktails with the bitters and stuff.
Old fashioned.
What are they called? An old fashioned. Yeah, they're made for a bit to be an old fashioned glass, but they're really cool. You're drinking out of your new crystal.
Yeah, Wedgwoods.
Yeah.
Fuck, you can see how oily that is.
Yeah,
it just clings to the glass.
Surprisingly oily for a low proof whiskey. I'm getting like spices, but kind of not at all rye spices. I'm getting like some sort of
they're really
dessert,
faint.
Raisiny plum dessert.
I reckon they'll pop on the taste though. Those.
Should we go in for it? The taste.
Yeah,
that sweetness carries through, but it's a bit more complex on the taste than the nose.
It's a lot more spicy with like caramel underlaying notes in there.
Yeah, definitely.
That raisin and plum actually carries through on the nose a lot more now that you mentioned it. Just thought I'd jump back to that.
Raisin. It's like a raisiny sweetness. It's like a fruity sweetness.
Yeah.
There's a bit of toasted nuts, maybe. Maybe even some like coffee beans and stuff. Not like ground coffee, not that it's not too strong, but maybe just like
that green coffee kind of stuff.
Yeah, I'm getting some sort of coffee, but it's not strong. It's not super strong at all.
There's like hints of vanilla as well in the aftertaste.
I'm getting a fair amount of vanilla. It's pretty vanilla-y.
I mean, there's getting like little strands of it. Again, it's probably the curry though.
It tastes like a dessert to me, like what are they called? Like a bread and butter pudding. Like it's got like that kind of slight bready cereal maltiness. It's got a ton of cream sweetness. It's got a ton of like buttery, caramelly, creamy, sultanery, raisiny sweetness. It's very similar to like a bread and butter pudding to me, because it is overall a sweet bourbon, a simple bourbon, but not overly simple. Like it's very I'm very content with how complex this is.
Yeah.
You don't work for it, but it's sufficient. It's good. I think that's why it's such a good bar cart bourbon, because like whiskey people will be able to sit with this and enjoy it. Yeah. But non-whiskey people can still drink this and not be like completely turned off whiskey. It's pretty friendly.
I reckon I'd take this away camp. Like, this is the type of camping bourbon, I reckon.
Yes.
Imagine sitting around a campfire with your marshmallows roasting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I completely agree. It's a great camping bourbon. You can take it, relax, enjoy it. You can share it with people, they'll enjoy it. Yeah.
And it's robust. It can hold up to it's like robust. It can hold up to like curry spices. Like I can draw notes out of this, which there's whiskeys that you can't. Like if you have something, it's just a flat whiskey and you can't taste anything.
Yeah,
this I can still.
I think it would hold up to ice pretty well as well. Like if you put a bit of ice in it on a hot day, it would stand up for a while. On
the rocks, yeah, sure would. I reckon it'd go alright in bourbon and Coke as well. I had to think of what the name was, but yeah, I reckon it would hold up in Coke. It's just because it's so sweet.
Yeah, I think that this is like a very good all-round bourbon. Like it really does kind of like tick most boxes.
Yeah.
For most people, I think like it's got the affordability, it's got complexity, it's friendly. Like it does what you really want a bourbon to do for the most part. You're not going to go down, an Alice in Wonderland journey with this kind of thing, but it's still interesting enough to not have you bored and wanting something else. So I think it is really quite a good bourbon, especially for us here in Australia.
I reckon it's
America
really
have
bourbon,
more options, but even there, I still think it's going to hit pretty high in most people's lists.
But I mean, for what you get, what you pay, it's a really top tier bourbon. Like in terms of a $60 range bourbon.
We'll see. What we looked at it last week. Jack Daniel's hits like $50. Jim Beam hits like $45-$50 consistently.
Yeah.
For an extra $10 to $15, I don't see myself ever going for the Jim Beam or Jack Daniel's. I will always go for the Buffalo Trace.
If I didn't know what this cost and someone said have a guess, I'd probably say $80 to $90.
Yeah. I would start at 80, I think. For Australia, knowing just Australian prices, that's where I'd put it. All right, thank you for watching this episode of Everything Whiskey. This review on Buffalo Trace, it's one of our favorites. I recommend go pick it up if you haven't tried it before. This will become the new norm for a little bit at least. We think we're going to be doing one episode online like this over Zoom once a week, and we will continue to upload the pre-recorded ones before we went to quarantine once a week as well. So we should be uploading twice a week for a little while, plus an occasional updates. Like we uploaded one today, which is, what is it? Wednesday 19th.
Yeah.
So we'll be providing updates for a little bit on what's going on. But for now, this is what you should get used to. Thank you very much, and we'll see you in the next one. Cheers.